how to be successful. Today we're going to talk about two of the main things that people should focus on. The first is don't waste time. The second is learn monetizable skills. The first, don't waste time. This includes things like cutting out Netflix or cutting out anything that is not essential towards increasing your relationships or increasing your skills. A lot of people, they waste time and they consume too much information instead of creating information or creating something. Now, this is something that can actually be applied to going to college. In my opinion, even though I did go to an Ivy League university and I graduated with like a 3.8 or 3.9 GPA, if I had those 4 years back, I'd be worth an extra $10 million, probably at least that. Now, when I think back to how hard I worked in order to get those amazing grades, I would definitely think that I could have applied that same work ethic towards building up something else. Now, for me, like going to a great school, I was probably only smarter than like 55 or 60% of the people in my major, but I outworked 95% of them, probably more than that. And that's why my grades reflected my work ethic. But if you apply that work ethic towards acquiring skills that you can actually monetize, and then you build for the long term. So it doesn't matter if you're only making like 20,000 when you're 20 years old, or 40,000 when you're 21, because as long as the trend is your friend and you're building and creating something that you want to work on 10 or 15 years from now, then in the long run you will be way farther ahead than what I did, which was go into investment banking, make $150,000 when I'm 20 years old, start working as a nightclub promoter, do that for 4 years, give that up, etc. So I definitely recommend utilizing your time the best way possible. I am not so great at this, to be honest. Now, remember that even though I'm making this video, it's not something where I'm a finished product. I'm not like Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg. Am I more successful than like 99% of the people out there? Yeah, but that doesn't really matter because I don't compare myself against other people. I compare myself against who I want to be. And I can evaluate myself and tell you just very honestly and candidly that I waste time sometimes. So, for example, I will always get things done, but it makes more sense for me sometimes to get things done and get the hardest thing done in the morning, yet for some reason I'm not capable of doing that. For someone like my wife, who has very set deadlines, she is incredible at just getting things done very methodically. Me, I'm not as good at that, and that's something that I'm going to improve upon. But am I better than the average person at that? Yeah, I'm sure I am, because I do actually get things done, maybe not at the exact time, but they always do get done. So the point here is you have to focus on things that give you the most bang for your buck and the greatest value. In my opinion, going to college, watching television, doing anything that's not going to improve your mental, physical, your relationships, your skill acquisition, things like that, or your enjoyment, things like that, in my opinion, are a waste of time. When you learn monetizable skills, I'm not talking about things that you can go on Google and just search. We all know that information is commoditized right now. It's the doing and being a practitioner that is going to make you money and is going to give you that feeling of fulfillment and that feeling of success because you're going to be helping other people. When it comes to trading stock options, that's not something that I learned at Cornell. It's not something that I learned from my parents or anyone else. I actually learned by making mistakes and then just simply learning from those mistakes and recognizing that I could create a strategy that is insanely profitable. Now, by you just taking action and learning from your mistakes and then minimizing those mistakes so that you accelerate your learning, then that is the best way that you can be successful. And it doesn't matter where you grew up or what you look like or where you went to college or what your grades are. The reality is that as long as you commit and you work hard and you're willing to outwork others and you have good habits and you don't waste time, then there's a very high probability that you will be successful. So again, to recap, the two major things that you have to focus on are using your time well and learning skills that are monetizable. When I say monetizable, that doesn't mean studying for your AP tests and regurgitating information, because that stuff I can just go on Google and then do a quick Google search. I'm talking about actually applying the skills and adding value and helping other people. And when you do help them, you're doing an amazing job, because they are able to offload the stress that they have onto your shoulders. And because you have so much responsibility, or rather you have so much experience in solving these problems, then they know that you're going to do an amazing job, and you actually outperform and you over deliver on their expectations. That's how you build clients, that's how you build businesses, that's how you build relationships, and that's how you build success. You get really good at a small niche that you've practiced over and over, and you exceed clients' expectations continuously. So again, this is David Jaffe from beststockstrategy.com and davidjaffe.com, and I'm going to wrap up this course over the next 3 or 4 videos, and I'll create the next video in a few days. Thank you.